Good evening, everyone. As you guys probably know, I am Dr. Tamira Lucas, and I work alongside Morgan's Entrepreneur Development Assistance Center with the RIDE program. And so, you guys know this is our Room to Grow session, and we always bring in amazing speakers to help you excel in business in various aspects. I'm actually very excited for today's speaker because we typically don't get this level of education when it comes to entrepreneurship around, telling your story and being able to leverage your story to grow as an entrepreneur. And it's so funny because I literally just had this similar conversation last week when I was a speaker at Essence on a panel with Felicia Rashad about your story and creating generational wealth through that. And so a lot of times when we think about our story, we think that
all right, cool.
We think we think we have to come from a struggle place, but there's a story inside of all of us that we can use in order to move the needle forward in our purpose. So I'm going to introduce Krystal Henry. She is a writer and stationer. So that's a person who creates stationery. And when she's not creating new designs for stationery, she can be found catching up on her favorite shows or trying out a new restaurant and spending time with her family. And so I'm excited to hear all of the, to hear the session from Krystal and how you guys can, leverage your story. So Krystal, I'm going to bring you in. Do you need me to give you access to show your screen or anything?
Yes.
Give me 1 second. Oh, you should be able to share your screen.
Okay.
Let me know if you're.
Yes, I got it.
Awesome. Okay. I'm going to put myself on mute and you guys can go ahead.
And you all, this is gonna require participation. Okay. So if you are comfortable, if you're in a space where you can take yourself off of, or you can put your camera on, feel free to do that. This is a judgment-free zone. Okay. You might see my son walking by or any number of things happening behind me. So if you can, wonderful. If you want to take yourself off of mute, you can feel free to do that as well. And I have a few slides that we are going to be working off of. And here we go. Hold on. But now it's paused. All right, hold on. There's always something with this. 1 second. I think I have to start this first. All right. 1 moment. I hope I can get this right. All right, cool. If I have to keep it like this, then I will. So today we're going to be talking about the power of really being able to tell your story, and the fact that your story is definitely unique to you, and that it is a tool that you have in your arsenal that nobody else has, to be able to tell that you can draw connections between your story and also your business, and being able to really mesh them together. So Dr. Tamira shared a little bit about me. A little bit more is that I have really found the through line and being able to merge who I am as a person and the various stories that are a part of my life and infuse them into my business. That at any given point, I may be able to draw a connection between me being a mother, or me being a wife, or me being the daughter of an aging mother, or me being, a friend, or any number of things into my business. And those are certain aspects that at one point someone may say, well, why are you sharing these different pieces about yourself? But again, as we talk about this particular session, that is a part of the business, that my life and who I am is not separate from my business. Although I'm not selling myself, in essence, there are many elements that I am being able to really advocate for myself in a selling capacity that I use. And so I've been able to leverage my story and my ability to pitch for business funding, and in my ability to connect with other people through networking and doing that either in real life or even through social media. So I would like to get an idea of who's in the room. You can feel free to take yourself off of mute or put it in the chat and just let me know what your business is. And that way I have a better idea of of who's in the room. So who's here? What is your business?
Well, I guess I'll go first. How are you doing?
Hi.
How's everybody doing?
Pretty
How you
good.
doing? Nice to meet y'all.
Nice to meet you too, bro. I'm Sammy. Um, I have my uh, remote staffing agency, my own staffing agency. I'm actually down here in Sarasota, Florida. I was just in Tampa, just doing some guerrilla marketing and door knocking and trying to see anybody want to work from home. And so that's a little bit about myself.
Great. Thank you, Sammy. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Who else is here? I see something in the chat.
You want me to talk?
Sure, go ahead, Mr. Tavon.
My name is, well, I can't see myself. It's kind of weird not seeing myself. Anyway, my name is Tavon Partlow. I'm from Baltimore and I'm in college. I get my bachelor degree next Friday on the 21st.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I drive trucks.
Congratulations.
I appreciate it. I drive trucks, I drive buses.
Congratulations. Sorry.
And reason why I'm in this with this program in general is because I believe I can make a difference. Sometimes it only takes one voice or one individual to really make a positive impact on the whole community. So that's what I'm here for.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Nice to meet you. And then I see we have Miss Tashika here with Get Lace. The hair.
Yes, I could take myself off of mute. Sorry, my son was right here.
Okay.
Hi guys, I am Tashika Booker and I am the owner of Get Lace Salon, which was actually created and also started in 2021, I want to say. But I was the second winner of the pitch competition with the Ride Association. And since then, they've been helping me grow my business. And I've attended a number of the ride events. And I will also be a guest panelist on the panel for next month's event as well.
Okay, wonderful. Wonderful. That's awesome. Tell me something else about Get Laced.
Get Laced is basically a hair replacement line. I started it for breast cancer and domestic violence victims, and I also offer custom lace fronts to regular consumers. But I've been working with GVMC right now to acquire a contract with them in regards to their Susan Berman Cancer Center and to get some of my business from there. So I'm working on partnering with them right now, but really I've been just working from word of mouth and advertisement on a few social media platforms.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Mr. Tavon, you didn't let me know what your business is. I know that you drive trucks, that you're getting your BA, but what about your business?
I'm sorry, you said let you know what my business is?
Yes.
So the business I'm trying to start is a recovery or entry homes for men between the ages of I want to start as young as 18 and cap off at the age of like around 41 for
Okay.
individuals that are like-minded and like myself. I did 12 years in prison, but you would never know it unless I told you.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about your mindset and changing, being a product of your environment. Sometimes we have to look open to change and stop being closed-minded and change people, places, and things that really matters. So my business is just going to be based on helping the men get careers, not jobs, but careers and things and professions that they love to do.
All right, thank you very much. And then Mr. John, are you one of the participants, Mr. John?
Yes, I am. I'm in transit right now, so I won't be able to talk very long. My company is Flavor One Foods. We are a catering company here in DMV. We've been doing business since 2015, but we had to shut down for a little bit and we're back now. What else you need to know?
I think that is it. So all kinds of foods you cater and all kinds of things, or?
Yeah, we pretty much do whatever's needed. We don't have a specialty per se, because then people lock you into that, and we don't want to be stuck sort of with that one thing. So we can pretty much do anything that you need.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. Thank you. That just helps me to be able to put into to be able to better understand who's in the room. And then just like Dr. Tamir said, I am a stationer. I create stationery. So greeting cards and other stationery items that that people may need. So that is a part of what I do. All right. So here we go. Two folks here that I don't know if anybody is familiar with. In case you are not, I can introduce you to Mr. Derek Falcon, one of the creators and co-owners of Cloudy Donuts, where they got started here in Baltimore, and that's where I am. I'm in Baltimore. They got started in Baltimore and have since been able to branch out to New York, and then they're also obtaining a second space in New York. And then also Mr. Wallow. If you don't happen to follow Wallow and his brand and the podcast online, then I encourage you to do that, because it will definitely pump you up and hype you up. And I selected these two people specifically because they have been very open and very strategic about telling their story, about their experience with incarceration through their business. And that has actually led to helping to build the platform of their business as they know it. And it is not something that they have shied away from. It's not something that they hide. It actually, again, lends itself to their credibility. And it has helped them in reading and in also listening to them speak and then reading about their experiences. It has helped them to make connections, and it has helped them to continue to build their network and to build their net worth. And it has helped them to obtain and to gain and to sustain their business. Because what is better than being able to say, you know, again, this was a part of my life at one point. This is who I actually am now. And while, you know, maybe it's somebody else that doesn't have incarceration as a part of their story, we all have this is who I was at one particular point in my life, and this is who I am now. And being able to show the redemptive process and what you have learned and what you have gained and how you're able to really use that part of your life to influence this new part. Just like you were saying, Mr. Tavon, that, you know, you want to be able to connect with people who are also like-minded, that, you know, people who have been able to make significant changes in their life like you have. And again, that is a part of their story. So again, I encourage you to read up on people, to find out what their story is. And a lot of what I'm going to share today deals with understanding people's origin story, really understanding who they are and how they got to the place that they are today. Because when people look at you all now with, you know, Ms. Tashika being able to create these lace units and being able to help women to regain their self-esteem and their self-confidence, they don't know your story, and they may not know where you came from and your ability to perhaps regain your self-confidence, but that is a part of what has influenced your business to this point. So read up on them, follow them, and get to know Derek Falcon and Mr. Wallow. So why is it important to really tell your story? Inside of your arsenal, that you have in all of your learning about whatever the industry is, from reentry in group homes to LACE units and understanding cancer and domestic violence to remote staffing, and then also with the food industry, you have all of those tools and all the different learnings, but your story is one of the most powerful pieces in your toolkit. And it's also something that is unique to who you are. That while we may all have an understanding about taxes or tax laws or an understanding about a website or how to update this or do that, that you don't have my story and I don't have yours. So that is why it really is important to be able to tell that, because again, that has influenced your business and your practices and where you are now. It also serves as a source of inspiration for people. It is really that big connective tissue that allows somebody to say, "Dag, look at her. She's been able to do it," or, "Look at him. He's been able to really make that happen, and I'm able to do that as well." And it serves as a source of healing for you at different points in time. And it also serves as a way to actually uplift other people, that perhaps people have told you that before, or maybe they have shared some of that information with you before. And it also makes you look authentic. There's nothing worse than being in a business space or going before people and not feeling like yourself. This is your story. This is your life. It's important to tell it because that's how people are going to trust you. They don't want to hear your anecdotes about somebody else's life, or if I'm just, telling you part of my story, but I'm only talking about Derek Falcon, or I'm only talking about Wallow. You're like, well, what about you? What about your story? People want to hear about you, and that's how you're going to gain their trust. And that's how you're going to be able to build those various business relationships and be able to generate business. That's what this is all about, really being able to generate business that's going to last and that's going to sustain. When you're telling your story, be honest about it and be yourself. That part of this, depending on what spaces you may be in, you may want to find yourself kind of clamming up, or you may find yourself hesitating to not be who you are. For instance, if you maybe have a sense of humor, go ahead. Was somebody saying something? Uh-oh. Okay. For instance, if you happen to have a sense of humor, don't shy away from that. Obviously, making that appropriate within the space and within whatever the format is, but don't shy away from who you are when you are conveying different pieces of your story. And I use the phrase to be selectively open because, and we'll talk about this a little bit more, part of it is just being mindful of whatever spaces you're in. That perhaps you share one nugget because that's appropriate for that particular space and time. And in another space and time, maybe it's a more intimate environment, could be a smaller grouping, who knows? It could be one-on-one and you want to be able to share something different. So just, again, thinking about within yourself what it is that you're sharing, when and where, and being able to start from a place that you are comfortable and that really makes sense for who you are. But again, this is an extremely powerful tool that each one of us has and that you all have to be able to generate business, to be able to build the foundation of your business on, and to create a very lasting foundation for your business. So this one, you are actually the brand that a few years ago, I had this discovery that although I'm selling greeting cards, people are not actually buying the card. And that was a big news flash to me, that they were actually buying me in a sense. And people are buying you. They're buying into the vision that you are creating for them. They're buying into the picture that you paint for them. And your ability to do that through your story serves as the platform for them to be able to connect to you. So 100% of the time, every single day of the week, every week of the year, every month of the year. You are the product, you are the service. And Mr. Tavon, I like that you brought up the point about being able to connect with like-minded people, because in thinking about these reentry programs, that again, people are going to look at you and kind of place you inside of these homes that you're painting the picture of, and you will become the ultimate avatar of your business. That again, when you are speaking about who you're creating this business for, you got to have a person in mind. And perhaps that person is yourself. Perhaps you design this person with other characteristics or qualities. But again, thinking about who that person is, that ultimately we are looped up in who that ideal person is, and that's what people are buying into. So when I go to Cloudy Donuts, I don't know if anybody else happens to go to Cloudy, that I love Cloudy Donuts even more after knowing Derek Falcon's story. I love listening to Wallow even more after knowing his story, that I'm able to connect with them on a different level, that while I may not have had the exact same experiences, I'm able to draw connections from their honesty, their vulnerability, their candor, and their ability to want to connect with people in that particular way. And they are the brand. That when I eat Cloudy Donuts, I am actually, taking a part of Derek Falcon whenever I happen to do that. So take a look at these two quotes, and I understand some people are driving. I'll go ahead and read them for you. The first one says, "Don't be scared to present the real you to the world. Authenticity is at the heart of success." In this day and age, businesses amongst the African-American community, and especially African-American women, are growing by leaps and bounds. We are creating businesses left and right based on our passions, our interests, and sometimes people are not doing that with the real motives that we believe that they should have, and they're lacking authenticity. And they may present something in such a way that you're able to sniff out a phony, and you're really able to identify the holes in what it is that they're saying, and it's not believable, it is not real, and it also doesn't make you trust them. It doesn't enhance trust, and therefore what happens? You don't spend your money with them, or you look at them as though they are a phony. And again, being authentic doesn't mean telling every single detail all of the time. It is about being selectively open, and it is about understanding at what points in whatever spaces you decide to tell your story. But that again, authenticity helps people to relate to you, that nobody wants to spend their money with a phony. Nobody does. And you can think about perhaps businesses owned by independent folks, or even large brands, where maybe you found out some information that they were inauthentic and what they presented was not actually real. And maybe that impacted your ability to spend money with them. I know that it has for me. So consider that one. The second quote says, "Focus on identifying your target audience, communicating an authentic message that they want and need, and project yourself as an expert within your niche, however you say it." Again, that word authentic comes up one more time, that we're not looking for anybody to share a phony message, but we are looking for people to be honest in their messaging. And each one of you has identified a target audience. Nobody on here has the same kind of business, the same kind of people that they are going after. And from what you all described, nobody is saying, "Oh, my business is for everybody," because that's a lie. That is really a myth. Our businesses are not for every single person. All right. And you all, I'm sure, understand that you have identified who your target audience is. And then again, taking that target audience, taking your business and being able and taking your story and meshing that all together and being able to say, what I have is what you want. You want my staffing agency. You want me because blah, blah, blah. I understand this. You know, my life has led me to have a better understanding of these things related to staffing and employment. And this is why my business is the best for you to be able to partner with. You all are the experts. And that is what people are seeking, and that is what they are coming to you for. Do either one of these quotes stand out to anybody? Anything that you resonate with? Everybody's just going to be quiet on me. Let me do all the talking. All right.
So I want to go with the second quote when it says, be the real you, don't hide the real you from the world. Because sometimes, when you talk about like-minded individuals, how would you know you're like-minded to someone if you're wearing a mask? Wearing a mask is like one of the worst things you could ever do to an individual. Because like in all relationships, no matter what type of relationship is, you can go buy a car from an auction and the mask of it is beautified. The outside looks good, inside looks good, but the whole time is a lemon. Same with, a relationship between a couple.
Right.
Who show you their representative and not who they really are. This is where the mistake comes in. This is why we have all these politicians that we really don't trust and know. So it's better to be yourself at all times. And me, I always put myself on the forefront because I don't believe in masks. Mask is an illusion.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. How else will you know that you're like-minded if you don't share? Bottom line. And in business, it is about who you know. It is about relationships. And if you're not able to establish those relationships through authenticity and honesty, then how are people going to trust you? They're not. And it's going to be doubly hard for you to be able to get what you need to get done on behalf of your business. That again, they're looking for you to be authentic in that way. Was there anyone else? Oops, before we move on. Next up, and if you have a burning desire, we can come back to it. So part of the how to, and again, it's gonna, part of this is going to be for you all to determine in your own spaces, on your own time, to be able to, in real time, determine that. But I brought this up earlier, deciding where the story fits and what portions to share. That perhaps if you are somebody that is comfortable speaking in front of other people, that again, you decide what you want to share and when and how much, and then deciding how it fits. I definitely want you to think about how you're painting the picture of whatever portion of your story you decide to share. But make the connection, not only about telling a story and dishing it. And I am thinking about this from a business perspective. For example, let's say you go to a networking event and people are socializing, eating vegetables and I don't know, drinking juice or something and walking around in a space. And you know what happens? People walk up to you and, hi, how are you doing? You have to introduce yourself, say what your name is. And then the next question could be, so what do you do? Or what is your business? And there's an opportunity for you to go into that elevator pitch mode. And that actually is a part of telling your story. You can decide in that moment, well, obviously I'm going to talk about Get Laced, or I'm going to talk about, Flavor One Foods, and deciding, what am I saying to this person in this moment? Is this a space where I want to, just keep it light and keep it on the surface? Is this a space where we are dialoguing some more? And it allows me to open up a little bit more about my business and why I got it started. That is always a point that people want to know, is the why you got your business started. Because it could be any number of reasons why you got it started, but that is your specific story. and think about how you want to tell that. I encourage you to practice it. That if you haven't, go ahead and practice it. And Ms. Tashika, since you are the winner of the pitch competition, I'm sure you have that whole elevator pitch down pat, that you understand how to tell that story and how to communicate it pretty clearly. But put yourself in a situation hypothetically and say, okay, I'm at a networking something and I have to talk with somebody and interact. How am I supposed to tell part of this story? But then leveraging the power of your network, that who is inside of your professional and even your social network to give you a space to practice some of this. Maybe there is a way that you can pull on your professional or your social network to attend an event or to connect you with someone else, again, for the purpose of generating that revenue, that don't discount your network, right? And them being able to assist you and to help you and to push you forward. And I put on here a point about social media. So I'm an advocate of social media. I don't know how other people feel about it. I always feel that if you use it for the right things, it'll be right to you and it'll be good to you. If you're about foolishness, then hey, you'll find plenty of that there too. But social media can give you an opportunity to tell your story and to gain practice in the iterations of your story and how you're telling it when it comes to business in a free way. You can utilize your stories to be able to talk. If you feel so led and so comfortable, you can utilize the live features, Facebook Live, Instagram Live, to go live. I understand that can be terrifying for some people. Consider it in this way. It builds the muscle of you being able to tell your story. It builds the muscle of you being able to connect with your customers. That, Miss Tashika, how powerful would it be for people to know that, again, to be able to even further spread the word about Get Laced and what it is that you're doing with those breast cancer patients, with those survivors of domestic violence, that again, it helps you to build that muscle. So I always recommend that as another tool that people can keep in their arsenal with being able to tell your story. And again, it's all about confidence, that when people are partnering with you, whether it be GBMC or it's the state to be able to partner with you for these group homes or reentry programs in homes, or it is, people hiring you, Mr. John, to be able to cater an event, or Mr. Sammy being able to, hire your company to staff their business, they are leaning into your confidence. That I'm sure none of you on here, and especially Mr. John, with being in business since 2015, you're not walking around with your head down. You're not walking around saying whatever it is that you're saying about your business in a lackluster or in a shy and timid way. But when you're speaking your story, it is about speaking with confidence. Whether you are a soft-spoken person or somebody who speaks in a more loud tone, it is going to be about how you're communicating that message. That you got people out here who are great storytellers, and maybe they're not the loudest person in the room, and they don't have to be. But it really is about what it is that they're saying. How are they getting people to really buy into their message, and how are they painting that picture for people that gets them to, lean into that honesty and that authenticity and lean into that confidence that it is that they have. So I found this clip from this woman. It happens to be a TEDx talk, and she's talking about the real power of storytelling. So I think it's just a couple of minutes. So take a listen.
That stories make proposals irresistible because they allow us to build connection. Stories masterfully infuse a human element into our businesses, our brands, and our programs that draws people in. So much so that by the time you do go in for the ask, like any good proposal, it simply feels like the next logical step. You see, stories are more than stories. They are the connective tissue that links you to the solution in people's minds. So that by the time you do present your solution or propose your offer, they say, it's about time. I've been waiting for this. And once you've told your story, with all the confidence in the world, ask, invite, propose, shout it from the rooftops. Because by that time, if you found the right people, the next step you're suggesting is something they'll want just as much as you do.
So there we go. What thoughts? Anything stand out to you all about Kelly Parker's tidbit about telling your story? What stands out? Were you all able to hear it?
Yes, so I'm just going to jump in there. I'm not a part of the Returning Citizen program, but it was an amazing message. And I think it had to do with the confidence that she had, as far as being fearless to get out there and tell her story. And not only tell her story, but do a call to action and ask for something as well. So I thought it was just an amazing message for that short clip.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And the rest of this TED Talk, I think it's maybe only 12 minutes or so. It is a really good TED Talk that can get you pumped up and get you some motivation. Anybody else? Anything stand out to you? What I picked out from that was several different things. And this is a bit of what she talked about earlier, is that through your story, your goal is to really influence these three areas with people. So with your confidence, with your honesty, with your authenticity, with your ability to brand yourself as the business and to communicate, you know, what the business is and all of that. You all know that stuff down pat. Like you live it, you breathe it every single day. So you know that. But really, in order to build those connections, to gain revenue, generate continued business, we're really working on changing people's minds. You're working on convincing them why your food is the best, Mr. John, why nobody else can make such dish the way that you make it. Nobody else can present the food and lay it out the way that you can. Or Mr. Sammy, nobody else can be able to find the right hires for their business. Like that's what you're convincing them of. Because every single business that we have on here exists within somebody else, within millions and thousands of other people. But it really is about influencing somebody's mind and convincing them why they need to go with you. And it's tapping into their belief system. It's tapping into what they understand about, let's say, reentry programs, or what they understand about lace units, right? Somebody still may want to refer to it as a wig, and you're like, nope, it's a unit and this is why. Or, you know, being able to really communicate that and tapping into what it is that they believe. Do they believe that confidence is important for people to have as a quality and a characteristic? Do they believe that it is important for there to be additional reentry programs? Do they believe that, you know, staffing agencies are important to find the best people? Do they believe that there is the best such and such dish that exists? Like, again, do they believe that? And then controlling their minds through your story to be able to let them know this is why you're the best. So that's what she talked about. After you draw that connection, get them in, that's when you're going in for the ask. That's when you're going in for the, this is who I am, this is what I want, and this is what I have to offer, and being able to control people's behaviors, being able to make you the first number that they dial when they have an event and they need food, making you the first number that they dial when they consider when they have a breast cancer patient who has lost all of their hair from medication. Like, again, being able to control, influence, I don't want to say control, being able to influence them in such a way based on your story and your business so that you can position yourself in such a way that you are the go-to. Because here's one fact about Cloudy Donuts that I didn't even know when I was going there for a while, is that they're vegan donuts. I'm not vegan. I don't care a thing about veganism, but I didn't care. I believe that, oh, a Black-owned business is important for me to support. Through their story, through their online marketing, they control my behaviors. They influence my mindset around craft donuts and kind of higher end donuts. And then next thing you know, me and my son are standing in line on Saturdays during the pandemic buying Cloudy Donuts. So again, they influence me through the story, through the business, through the marketing, to be able to, really tap into my beliefs, my mindset, and also my behaviors. And that's 1,000% possible. And that is the real work of what it is that we do. That not only are you building a business around reentry programs or, custom units for patients or food or staffing, but you are really about how are you influencing people to select you as that real person, and how are you integrating your story as a part of that business to be able to be the first person that they contact. So that is actually, we're kind of like almost right on time. So I would like to know if there are any questions, any comments, any feedback, anything that that stands out to you, any aha moments that you've had that you'll be able to take and say, okay, I didn't consider that, or I'm going to integrate that, or I'm going to think a little bit more thoroughly about this particular point as it relates to telling your story. What you got? What thoughts do you have?
My
Well, I
thoughts.
just want to, oops, sorry.
No, you okay?
You can go.
You sure?
Yeah.
I just want to
Let
say
me
that
put you on mute.
just hearing everything that we have heard today has actually motivated me to know that I'm going in the right direction. I'm actually following Wallow on Instagram and other little platforms. I'm actually big in social media myself. Social media is actually the biggest tool to use now when it comes to networking. We don't, canvassing, walking around and talking to the people will always be a great thing, but nothing moves as fast as, the speed of light as internet.
Yeah.
News really travels when you're using the internet fast. So everything I've heard today just lets me know that I'm moving in the correct direction.
Are you comfortable telling your story and really integrating that as a part of into your business?
Yes, actually, that's my story is my business. It actually is a part of my, my book. Only reason why I haven't finished my book because my story isn't finished. To write an autobiography, it's kind of hard when you keep making all these achievements. At one time last year, I was going to 2 colleges at the same time. I got my associate degree, and I became a certified community health worker through the state of Maryland. So it's like, how can I write a book and complete it when I'm just accomplishing so much great stuff?
Right. I like that. Yep, you're right. Social media is a very powerful tool that is a part of where we are, and with this day and age. And should you choose to integrate that as a part of your business, then again, thinking about how you can make it work for you in a way that's comfortable and that doesn't create, additional angst or problems or issues, but really allowing it to work for you. Yeah. Ms. Tashika?
Just kind of to piggyback off of that, like, I would say that I am also very comfortable with telling my story, because that's really what has been pushing me and giving me the drive to push forward when it seems like my business is failing, or I feel like I take a loss or a hit or anything, good or bad. The people that I speak with, it could be on social media, it could be in person, like just a random conversation always keeps me motivated and opens up conversation to other people for them to share their story with me. So me being open about everything that I've been through and what I am going through this process. Like, I know for me, I see a lot of elevation, but these bumps in the road and these lessons that I've been learning, like, they're helping me along the way to elevate my business, but also encouraging other people to see that somebody that was in their shoes is really doing something that they don't feel like they would be capable of. So my story is continuously being changed and constantly being told. So I just appreciate you taking the time to, give us this message and give us this information as well.
I like that you said that your story is still being told. You and also Mr. Tavon, that again, who you were, it could be a year ago, is not down to the letter and down to the T. You know exactly who you are today. That the goal of every year is to grow, is to get better. And so identifying those ways that you want to be able to do that. So I like that you said that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, real quick, I want to just jump in and say, hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to jump.
Uh-oh, we lost you, Mr. John.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. Yeah. Your first slide, you talked about being a mother, being a foodie, being all of that. I think that's something that I never really considered in, telling my story. I think it does two things. I think number one, it humanizes your business, and people like humans in business. They don't like machines. And so I will really incorporate that into when I start doing my story myself about who I really am outside of my business.
Yes. That's a really good point. I could not think of that word all day long, humanizing. But you're right that I on my business Instagram page, I go on my stories all the time and talk, and I say to people, can you say that you know what the owner of Hallmark is doing right now, or what they look like, or anything like that? But again, it makes you human. And just like you said, I don't want to buy from a robot, that I want to be able to purchase from a person and have some kind of connection with that person. So again, thinking about how you can integrate some of those other parts of your life again into your business, and just where it makes sense, right? Like, again, I'm not telling everything, but I'm telling the parts that have helped to influence me, and that again you can draw something off of, because I didn't know that you cooked and that you dealt with food before I got on here. But I like to eat and I like to go to restaurants, so that is a part of who I am. So anyone else? Mr. Sammy, anything? I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Nothing for me. I'm just taking it all in.
Okay.
Yes, man. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Well, bottom line, you are your story. You are your brand. People want to connect with you on that very authentic and human level, and be able to pour into your business. And again, this is all for the purpose of us generating business, generating wealth, being able to create longevity in our businesses, but not to shy away from your story, and understanding that is the platform for which our businesses are built. So that is all I have, Dr. Tamara.
That was awesome, Krystal. Thank you so much for an awesome, engaging presentation.
This is Mix La Production.